We got some exciting news on pricing and EV charging installations that show an encouraging trend for EV owners. Some prices are up, but several prices are down, so watch this video to keep up to date. There's two brand new networks making an appearance on the channel for the first time. Also, we include for the first time pre-authorization charges. And there's a special request to all existing EV owners for a possible launching a new pilot program. I'm Dave. Welcome to Dave Takes It On. Now, just a quick word. Pricing's getting more complicated these days. For this first section, we quote list prices available if you just turn up and swipe. No app, no membership, no deals, nothing. If you just want an easy life and you rarely charge your public charges, this is for you. Well, later in the video, we'll show you some of those offers and how low prices can actually be. And new this year also is an introductory section on fast chargers, home chargers and workplace chargers, destination chargers. It's just an introduction. The full pricing will begin with our February review. Please subscribe and click on the notification bell so you won't miss it. All the figures quoted in this video are dated the 20th of January. As always, we include chapters so you can just skip to the section that interests you the most. And just before we give the first price, let's open up with a quick message to all those who say EVs are dearer than petrol cars. For normal motoring around town and commuting, most petrol cars will average between 30 and 40 miles per gallon. Yeah, I know you can get much more on the long run, but most people don't do long runs. Most people use their cars for commuting or local travel. On long runs, you might get 50 or 60 miles per gallon, but around town, 30 or 40 is normal. The same with EVs. Most EVs will average 3 to 4 miles per kilowatt hour driving around town and commuting. Well, some will get nearer to 5, sometimes more, if you drive carefully on an open road. But again, most people commute. So if you only fill or charge at petrol stations or public chargers and pay list price, no deal offers, no special bonuses, and all you do is drive around town or commute, then the following figures apply. 30 miles per gallon, a petrol car uses 4.55 litres, £1.40 a litre, £6.37 a gallon. That works out to 21 pence a mile. 40 miles per gallon, a petrol car will cost 16 pence a mile. At 30 miles per gallon, a diesel car will use 4.55 litres, £1.48 a litre, so £6.73 a gallon. That's 22 pence a mile. 40 miles per gallon, a diesel car will use the same, but it will cost it 17 pence per mile. Now, an EV doing 3 miles per kilowatt hour at the UK average rapid and ultra rapid charging price, 75 pence per kilowatt hour, will pay 25 pence a mile. An EV doing 4 miles per kilowatt hour will pay 19 pence a mile. An EV doing 3 miles per kilowatt hour at the UK fast charging average price of 45p will pay 15 pence a mile, and the EV doing 4 miles per kilowatt hour at fast charger will pay 11 pence a mile. A Tesla doing 3 miles per kilowatt hour at the UK average Tesla supercharger of 44 pence per kilowatt hour pays 15 pence a mile, and a Tesla doing 4 miles per kilowatt hour at the same chargers will pay 11 pence a mile. Now, before people scream in outrage, these are examples. They are all at list or average prices. There are many deals out there. Most supermarkets offer you 5p a litre off petrol if you spend X amount. Most motorways, we all know, charge an extra 25 pence per litre. There are differences. A new Hyundai Ioniq 5 gets a special deal. It can charge for 30 pence per kilowatt hour in the first year. All EVs get free charging for 3 months if you lease one from Gridserve. Nissan dealers offer totally free fast charging at the garages. But these are not always available, not always local. They're often time limited, so we cannot rely on them. Now, full table of all current prices and locations used in this video, it's available to our Patreon members free of charge. Let's get back to pricing. A mixed bag this month. When we look back to the start of last year, pricing was quite simple. But some networks have now added split tariffs for peak and off-peak, and one offers a super off-peak 29 pence, but at really unsocial hours. But the trend over the last 12 months is absolutely static. Price is the same. Instavolt, claim the largest network in the UK, They're mostly 50 kilowatt chargers and virtually none of them above 150 kilowatt, but they charge a whopping, appalling 85 pence per kilowatt hour. That is up from last year. That's a flat rate all year round. They do have some good locations, they are reliable, they're installing new chargers, but it's at a relatively slow rate. But even a 50 kilowatt charger will add probably around about 100 miles of range with just an hour of charging. So really useful for that top up. They have no offers, no memberships. Instavolt offer contactless or an app, but the app actually does require you to add a payment method or actually add funds. Instavolt take £15 or £45 pre-authorization fee for contactless, depending which charger you use. And they say it should, but doesn't always, clear as soon as the charging session is completed. Well, just as a reference point, almost all petrol stations also take a pre-authorization, and that can be up to £100 normally, but check the BP website for petrol stations. They say they can charge up to £150. Okay. Well, still with BP Pulse still charge an equally appalling 85 pence per kilowatt hour for rapid and ultra-rapid charging. They charge a pre-authorization charge of £45 on 50 kilowatts and £50 on 150 kilowatts. Again, it should release almost immediately. Many new chargers where they receive funding from external sources, but few new chargers where they have to pay for them themselves. Almost all the chargers located on petrol forecourts. These could be noisy, dirty and smelly. Hardly the ideal environment for an EV driver. Plus, at those locations, the facilities are just a shop. They are starting to open up hubs, but we've yet to see the full details of those, so we'll keep in touch. Ionity are now ramping up new chargers, but they're starting from a relatively low point. Last year they had just 99 chargers, this year 151, so 50% increase. And so 23 locations and 16 new locations being built. Ionity generally offer high power up to 350 kilowatts and in multiple units, commonly 6 per location. Chargers are neat, easy to use. Contactless can be available at some locations. It is not yet enabled and it looks like it never will. But an app will be required on those. Now, Ionity also offer a QR code. It's really simple. Take your smartphone, scan the code, and it takes you directly to their website payments page. And that allows a one-off payment, which is secure. So if you don't want to give out your bank details, this is an alternative. They also offer a loyalty-like card where you can input a payment method and then pay a reservation fee, which is adjusted upwards to what you actually used overnight. Ionity also offer their Ionity Passport, which for a monthly fee will give you a reduced rate per kilowatt hour, but it's starting to look like Ionity are making it a little bit complicated for some drivers. But they do actually deserve a special mention for trying. Find what suits you, stick to it. Well, Fastned are also slowly increasing their installations. They're now up to 20 locations, with most of them offering the superb 300 kilowatt shared power ultra-rapid chargers, dual bay. It's interesting to see they've added a 6 by 300 kilowatt dual bay charger location in Newquay in Cornwall. The West Country really seems to be getting more than its fair share of chargers ready for this summer. They offer multiple payment methods, contactless charges at £40 pre-authorization fee. Their app, if you choose to use it, includes auto charge, which means no cards, no swiping. You add your payment details and then when you arrive at a charger, you just plug it in like a Tesla. It does the rest, charging starts automatically and payments taken automatically. Fastned also offer a QR code if you prefer a once-only secure payment. Osprey out there, a lot bigger than most people think. They got a flat rate charge of 79p at all of its 870 chargers throughout the country. And it includes now their first own charging hub in Devon. See, all the others were rented in retail parks and the like. This is one that they own and run. There are bays suitable for caravan owners, 2 of them. Absolutely no need to unhitch. Once again, seems like they're heading for the tourist trade. Well, not the dearest price. It is above average for the UK. They offer generally Kenn power chargers, which are fast, powerful and reliable. I personally find the cable to be heavy and unwieldy, but chargers are good, and the data available from the charger via a QR code is fantastic to us nerds. They charge a pre-authorization fee, generally £45, but they also offer a variety of other payment methods. That includes Apple Pay, Google Pay and Android Pay. That's going to make it far easier than some others to make your payment. They offer no deals, no memberships, no special offers, nothing. Well, Gridserve go from strength to strength after receiving their £500 million investment. They're making the most of their near monopoly, which they inherited after merging with Electricity Electric Highway, giving them fantastic locations at most motorway services. They're now approaching 200 installed chargers and have also just opened the new dedicated hub at Gatwick. Now, these hubs are a great invention. They offer far more than the normal facilities. And here you can also test drive new EVs. So while you're waiting for your car to charge, take out the next one you might be buying. And if you arrange a lease, if that's your preferred method, then you get 3 months free charging thrown in. Well, Gridserve charge a flat rate 79p everywhere, which is above the UK average. They're also to be praised for their £1 pre-authorisation fee. That's all but their site at Rugby Services. Now there, they offer a strange system, not sure why, but I will find out, where they take a £35 upfront fee. It's not a pre-authorisation, it's actually taking the money. If you reach £35 during your charging session, the session will just cut off. It's the end of it. You can obviously just restart it and have a second session if you want to. If you take less than £35, the difference will be immediately refunded to your account, although they do warn it may not show up on your statement for a few days, but it will be done there and then. So no pre-authorisation holding on to it for days or weeks at a time. They offer at the moment no apps, no memberships or deals, although they have for a long time dangled the possibility of an app and a membership, but no sign of it as yet. So the only thing on offer, if you lease a car there, you get 3 months totally free charging with Gridserve. Their chargers are generally ABB units and most are 350 kilowatt capable. Well, capable simply means that although the charger can supply 350 kilowatts, the overall power available at that location at that time is not enough to supply all chargers at that rate. That's what capable means. It's actually a great development. I'm all for this. If you happen to be the only car there, you'll probably get your full 350 kilowatts if your car can do it. But even if it's crowded, you're still going to get 50 or 100 kilowatts probably, which will charge most cars in less than an hour. Now, they do this because they have a temporary, usually, shortage of power. But in most cases, that power is already organised, already booked, already waiting to go. They're just waiting for the licence or permission or whatever it is they need. So in time, they'll remove the capable tag and they'll just be 350 kilowatt chargers. But in the meantime, we get access to 350 kilowatt chargers. Applegreen making big inroads into the UK EV charging world. Now the group is called Applegreen Limited or Applegreen Group, and they buy up and operate motorway services in their hotels around the world. It's an oil industry. They deal with petrol stations, diesel stations, gas stations in America and motels, petrol driven. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, but a new company has sprung off from there and been formed, and this is Applegreen Electric, which is not owned by Applegreen Limited or Applegreen Group. It is wholly owned by Blackstone. This is a multi-trillion-dollar investment firm which has masses of money to invest on behalf of its clients. And this particular venture, Applegreen Electric, is dedicated to all things EV, i.e. renewable and green. They have access to almost unlimited funding and they are installing everywhere. Just recently we saw some new chargers, and these are from Power Electronics. This is a US company. I've not seen them before, but they're from Arizona. Be interested to see how they perform. But they provide 150 or 300 kilowatt shared bay chargers. They also install multi-bay chargers. So in Charnock Richard, my local M6 service station, just a few miles from here, they have 8 dual bay 300 kilowatt chargers. That's 16 charging bays if they're all full, each getting 150 kilowatts. That's a good installation. Now they operate a pre-authorization fee of either £25 or £30. Interesting to note, they are keen to advertise an overstay fee on some chargers. So once your charge is complete, move your car. If you don't, you may be charged a fee of up to £100 an hour. But I have to say, leaving your car blocking a charger which someone else might desperately need once it's full is not a good thing to do. There should be no need for these fees, but unfortunately, there is a real need for them. Well, price is an above average 79p, although my local one is charging 77p for some reason. It's slightly less than the average, but they have no deals, no memberships, and nothing's appeared on the website as yet. We've yet to see the power, reliability of these new chargers, but they're installing a lot of them, together with some ABB units. They seem to favour installing a decent number of chargers. As I said, my local one has 8 dual bay chargers. It'd be good if Applegreen Electric can actually overtake in time Applegreen Group, Applegreen Limited. An EV branch of the company taking over the fossil fuel-based branch. That'd be a good thing to do. Well, MFG, Motor Fuel Group, have been on an installation spree as well, with multiple chargers on most of their petrol forecourts. They currently have around 550 rapid and ultra-rapid chargers at more than 130 locations. But they've got an even more ambitious target, 3,000 rapid and ultra-rapid EV chargers as part of a £400 million investment into EVs and green energy by 2030. Wow, that's another near £500 million investment. And yet we're told EVs are failing rapidly. They're going to be wiped out by ICE cars. The legacy automakers are going to come back with a vengeance. None of the investment banks, investment firms, the private equity companies, none of them seem to think EVs are going anywhere other than up. Well, bring it on. Well, EG, that's the Europe group, they trade under EVPoint, and they're also on a massive installation boom. They've done a deal with Tesla to buy the very latest V4 250 kilowatt future-proof superchargers. See, while Gridserve currently installed 350 kilowatt chargers, there are no cars in the UK that can charge at that rate. None. The nearest are the Audi e-tron GT, the Porsche Taycan, maybe the Hyundai Ioniq 6 and Kia EV6. All of those can get up to around about 270 kilowatts. But that's it, and it would only be for a very brief period in time. For the huge majority of EV owners, you'll never get anywhere near this rate. The average is probably around about 100 kilowatts. But future-proof for the Tesla V4s almost certainly means upping the power to 350 kilowatts if and when new EVs arrive needing that. See, don't forget that a Tesla Model Y, the best-selling car in the world, can add 175 miles of range in 15 minutes. Do you really need it faster than that? You'd be hard pushed to motorway services to dash off to the loo, have a quick pee and head back to your car. Almost certainly you're going to be incurring overstay charges. 350 might not actually be or become as popular as many people think we should have. And don't forget, check your own car's maximum charging speed. If your charging speed is 100 kilowatt hours, like a Vauxhall Astra EV, it means if you plug into a 350 kilowatt charger, you will never in your life get 350. It won't happen. You will only ever get 100, and most days you won't even get that. Now, the V4s are also likely to be variable voltage capable for future use. That means it's offering 400 volts, which is 99% of all cars on the road, but also 800 volts for the few EVs that use this architecture. Again, that's the Porsche Taycan, the Hyundai Ioniq 6 and the Kia EV6. They use 800 volts. So if in future the more and more cars are switching to 800 volts, there's no sign of it at the moment, then these will be capable of just flicking a switch inside or whatever and they will be able to determine when you plug in whether your car is capable of taking 400 or 800. I'm assuming that's automatically. Well, EVPoint is installing large numbers. We're seeing them dotting up all over the place. Good quality ABB units, and they mostly seem to be 180 kilowatts. And some of the locations have some unique features, such as the car fragrancer. If you want to know what that is, check out my video on Rivington services on the M61 for details. Well, price is unusual. First, because they stick a massive illuminated sign at the entrance to the motorway services showing you a price. You can see this a long time before you need to take the slip road. But also the fact that they charge 65 pence and advertise it in illuminated lights. And that makes them one of the cheaper ones at list price. They also have installed a commercial 360 kilowatt charger for vans and lorries. But that is absolutely ideal for caravanners and people with trailers. The 65 pence covers both the 180 and 360 kilowatt chargers. I suppose that's logic, really. It's the same electricity. It doesn't matter how fast it comes out. Well, other EVPoint chargers are starting to spring up all over the place. My local Starbucks is one. Good for them. Pre-authorisation, though, is a hefty £45, but my experience is that the fee is released on completion of charging, almost immediately. Well, Tesla's just doing its thing. They've now switched over to the V4 chargers. They only ever have one on a build at any one time. And these now offer extra long cables, 4 metres long, and a screen with contactless payment. Well, these are useless for Tesla drivers. We don't need a long cable. The last one has managed for the last 10 years. We don't also need a screen. We've got our app and screen in the car. And we don't need contactless. All Teslas just take payment automatically. We don't need a card or an app or an RFID to swipe. So these extras, the long cable, the screen and the contactless, they are purely for non-Tesla cars. Now, Tesla also offer an app that requires no payment, no entry of card details or anything. It just means that you can access the chargers that much easier and control them from your smartphone rather than on the charger itself. They also offer a membership. That's $10.99 a month. That gives you a discount which brings the price down to what the Tesla drivers already pay. Well, for Tesla drivers, the average price of a Tesla supercharger is today 44p, and that's exactly the same as it was 9 months ago. We have super off-peak prices down at 29p, and peak rates are now nudging up to 57p. That's extortionate. Now, I've long said I can find no reason whatsoever for any average motorist to ever charge their car at peak times and peak rates. I charge dozens of times a year, maybe hundreds. I've never paid peak rates. Just a little bit of forward thinking, forward planning, you don't need to. Well, I happen to also avoid peak times at my supermarket and McDonald's. I hate queuing. I hate it. So I choose to visit at a quieter time. And sometimes, coming back in half an hour, you find the place deserted. Again, I've done a video on this. When we arrived, the whole charger was full. Jonas and I went in for a coffee. By the time we came out, it was absolutely empty. We were the only car. We weren't charging, but we were the only car parked there at the charger. All 8 were empty. If you want to, find the time. Just makes a slight change to your working life, your family life, your work-life balance. Find the time. Save a fortune. Or don't bother. Just pay your peak premium rates. Sometimes queue up. It's not my problem. I just don't see why people would choose that. But just don't moan on and on about prices and profiteering if you choose to go there and pay peak prices. Anyway, rant over. In addition to new superchargers, around 30 were added last year and more are expected this year. Tesla are opening up more superchargers to non-Teslas. Again, it was about 30 new ones last year. In time, there'll probably be more open to all than exclusive to Teslas. Anyway, average prices range from 29p super off-peak, absolutely ridiculous hours, but also a ridiculous price. This is usually between about 12 o'clock and 4 a.m. in the morning. Normal price for off-peak is 44 pence and peak is 49. Now, I will point out some locations are charging up to 57p peak. That includes my local one, which is not Charlotte Richards, but the next local one, which is Trafford Shopping Centre. That one charges 55p. The dearest one in London, 57p, however, also charges 33 pence off peak. So for goodness sake, just go off peak. 33p. That is very nearly half price. Well, reliability of all of them is superb. They're very rarely down. Power is now an impressive 250 kilowatts, dedicated per charger, no shared bays. Also great to continue the policy of multiple units. They average about 12 per location. It's even better to see Tesla starting to replace their old V2 chargers where there are queues. So at Kiel Services, we did a film on this just before Christmas, and they had 4 V2 chargers on a motorway services. And it meant that whenever you go there, applied to us, we weren't charging by the way, whenever you go there, all 4 are normally occupied. Now the V2s have 150 kilowatts supplied to 2 chargers. So if you're the only one there, you get 150 kilowatts. If there are 2 of you, it's proportionally shared depending on your demand, but typically you'll get 75 kilowatts each. They've just replaced them with the V4s, 250 kilowatts dedicated, no sharing. And what that means is, going back to the Model Y, plug into a V4, if your battery's been preconditioned and is at a low state of charge, you can add 175 miles in 15 minutes. It's enough time to go and have a pee and also pick up a coffee and a donut. Nice to see that where they have queues or where they've got the older chargers, they're just automatically replacing them. So many other networks just let them fall into disrepair and leave them standing, rusting. Well, I got 2 major new entrants making their first appearance. The first one, Sainsbury's Smart Charge. Did a separate video on this. You see, supermarkets led the way with fast chargers many years ago, and they offered them free to use. They were done as an advertising feature to try and get people into the stores. Go and charge for free while you're shopping. But those have long since become outdated. Most of the supermarkets still have them, but they're now being charged, and the average price for the supermarket chargers, fast chargers, is 45 pence per kilowatt hour. Now again, when they first started, a lot of the superstores, mine included, offered unlimited parking. There was no 2-hour limit or 3-hour limit. So you could park your car there overnight, plug into a fast charger at 7 kilowatts and go back in the morning and pick up a fully charged car. Absolutely, totally free. Now, unfortunately, they've put a time limit on my car park. 3 hours. Now, in 3 hours, you could probably add 60, 70, 80 miles of range. So it's still worth going there, but it's not quite as exciting. And they're finding that they're not being used anywhere near as much as they did when they first introduced them. So the demand was there for an entry into the big boys league, and Sainsbury has become the first to launch a major network. Yeah, I know Morrison's have got them. They've had a few charges for years, mostly Instavolt, as have Booths. But they're literally just 1s and 2s here and there, and quite high priced. So Sainsbury's is entering, and it's going for 8 to 12 ultra-rapid chargers per location. And they come in with a bang at an average price of 75 pence per kilowatt hour. They've chosen Kenn power, and that coincidentally has exactly the same colour scheme as the supermarket. Nice. Well, it's early days, but if they see a gap in EV charging market, and there definitely is one, then the others, Tesco, Asda, Morrison's, surely they won't be far behind. And with competition comes price wars. Bring it on. But the numbers for Sainsbury's are simply mind-boggling, and people underestimate this. See, Tesla has around 1,300 chargers. Instavolt, just a few more. Most of them 50 kilowatt, but just a few more. And that makes those the biggest 2 in the UK. Sainsbury's has 1,424 stores, most of which can have chargers installed. Now, at the little city stores, it might just be 1 or 2 chargers. That's all it needs, all there's space for. But at the superstores, it's likely to be 6, 8 or 12. I'm starting to receive photographs from viewers of some of the Sainsbury's superchargers going in, and one of them is a 12-bay supercharger, a 12-bay charging location. Now, if you imagine most of the larger stores, the superstores, there are 600 of them, and each of them fit just 8 ultra-rapid chargers. That would mean 4,800 chargers on the way. That's more than 4 times what Tesla has, and more than twice what Tesla and Instavolt have combined. This is huge. Now add in Tesco and the others, and they could easily be adding 10,000 ultra-rapid chargers very quickly, and they will be charged out at a very competitive price. Yes, please. Evil Eye, as I call it, also makes an appearance after an impressive run of new installations. They even have an EV hub underway, Phoenix Parkway in Corby. What price is bang on average, 75 pence per kilowatt hour. Payment's the usual method. Pre-authorisation is £45. And this seems to be an up-and-coming network with an impressive spread of locations. To date, too many have been just 1s and 2s, and the chargers are typically 75 kilowatts shared. But the hub is a game changer. Their choice of brand is generally ABB, as used by Gridserve. The website offers a wealth of information to help new EV owners, if only they would read it. I'm pleased to include Evil Eye in this month's review. Just wish they'd changed the name so I could pronounce it. Well, no need to mention GeniePoint or Shell Reach. Oh, just have done. Sorry, both of these horrendous price, 85 pence. They don't deserve any mention. Both very inferior service. Use them only in an emergency, and then only take the minimum required to get you to a decent charger. My local GeniePoint at Morrison's, a single unit, it was replaced with a brand new one 9 months ago. And it's already been in and out of service several times in the last 9 months. Oh, come on, get it right or get out. Maybe take a look at Sainsbury's. A local Shell Recharge, that was also been in and out of service for almost a year. But finally, they've had the guts to close it down. It's now shut down totally, taken off the map. At last. Well, it's an exciting message. Maybe if we stop using all Shell Recharge, they'll close them all down, take them all off the map. Or maybe take EV charging seriously and install some decent chargers in decent locations at a decent price, and then look after them. No more dirty, sticky, smelly, noisy petrol and lorry forecourts. Okay, quick look at our new features, and we'll be starting this one up in our February pricing review. Public fast chargers, destination chargers, workplace chargers and home chargers all have a very important place in the EV world of charging, alongside the rapid and ultra-rapid chargers that you need for your journey. You see, if you go to work and you park your car in a car park all day, it's there 8-9 hours, what a great place to plug in. If you stay in a hotel, you go to sleep at night, it's great to plug in at night, and in the morning, come down, have your breakfast, and you find it's full. There are no need for rapids and ultra-rapid chargers here. The fast chargers are perfect. Look also at Super 8 Hotel at Chester Services on the M56. Great new location. We covered this just before Christmas. When you book a room there, you get a dedicated fast charger supplied by Gridserve, which is yours for you to use for the duration of your stay. Now, when you're in the hotel, your car can be charging all the time, and the hotel will not be charging you. I was told that you pay a one-off supplement of £10, and that charger is yours, dedicated to you for you to use. How about golf courses, National Trust properties, theme parks? Some of these are already starting to install fast chargers where they're most needed. Imagine having a round of golf. I think like me, it's 3 or 4 hours, and you return to an almost full battery. It's ideal. Or you go for a stroll around the gardens of a historic manor and go and have lunch, leisurely lunch, inside the manor, the restaurant. And when you return to your car, it's had a good charge. So, why not convince your employer with a company car park to install workplace chargers? They're free with many network operators like PodPoint. Now, our research into all these chargers is a huge subject. It is nearing completion. So watch out for these videos coming out starting in February. Well, just looking at home chargers for those who can, tariffs are available that reduce the cost of charging to utterly ridiculous levels. Many networks are now charging 7.5p per kilowatt hour, and that means a mile driven is less than 2p. But some of them now, you can program them or allow them to charge your car at times when the grid is absolutely awash with excess electricity. And believe it or not, they pay you to use up that excess electricity. It's not free motoring, it's paid to drive motoring. Now, the possibilities for those who can charge at home are endless. Now, that system of being able to get paid for charging is not really suitable for me. I need the assurance and security of knowing that I charge it one night and my car's full next morning, so when I set off to do a filming expedition, I know the car's already going to be charged. And for me, my car doesn't spend every day outside the house. But there are many, many people, I see them all the time, whose car stays at home for extended periods of time throughout the day. How about getting paid for leaving it there? Well, next month we're going to begin naming them. We're going to feature the best options available and the worst. We're going to call out the worst and then recommend the best. Again, please subscribe so we can notify you when that video launches. Well, I'm done. Apart from my request to my viewers, those who are able to charge at home by any method. Now, I know this is not unique, not pretending it is. I know others offer similar schemes, not pretending they don't. But they don't seem amazingly popular yet. I'm talking about sharing home chargers. Now, for many people, mine included, my charger is not used all day. It's hardly used at the weekend. I don't do a lot of miles at the weekend because I do a lot during the week. And during my travels, I stop and talk to people at the EV chargers that I go to, and I've raised the point with them. And most of those say, yeah, they would be up for it. I've also contacted several of my friends, spoken to them. And again, they're quite up for it. As long as they don't get, people don't expect to be able to just call in and use the chargers willy-nilly, you might need to say, right, once a week on a Thursday night, I'm going to come along and leave my car here for the night. That's fine. All we do as an EV owner, if we're not charging that night, then the charge is free. If we do need the car on the Friday, we just make sure we charge up on the Wednesday to full and then not use it that much during the day. For many of us, we could easily let others use our chargers without any inconvenience to us and with a payment. So if we're getting electricity at 7.5p, I don't see any problem with us selling it out at 10, 15, 20p. That rate is still way cheaper than anything that the visitor can get out in the public charging stream. And for us to get our money back on that electricity and a little bit more, it means that we, in some cases, could even get free charging for our own car. Now, need to find out if this is popular. So if any of my viewers are interested in earning a few bob by letting others use the home charging facilities when they are not using them, then get in touch with me via email or via the comments section. I will see what the response is and see if this can go anywhere, if we can promote this. By the way, as usual, I expect some not so complimentary replies, just the nature of the game. So a quick plea, if you're not interested in this, please just ignore this request. I really do not want to hear how stupid I am for asking, or how stupid or illegal or immoral or whatever it is you think the scheme is. I'm Dave. Well, thanks very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please click the like button. And if you'd like to see more, please subscribe and click the notification bell so we can notify you next time we launch a video. And a massive thank you to all our Patreon supporters. It is your support that enables us to go out and make these videos for you. So thank you very much for your contribution. I'm Dave.